Hi guys, my name is Jenny Rathsack, and the article I chose to do for this article review is Interventions to Assist Students with Disabilities Through School Transitions. And if you want to see the article or read more about this, it'll be on the Article 2 discussion page. D2L citation and title will be there. The first question is, what was the purpose of the article? Meaning, what are the researchers trying to inform the readers about, and what do they want us to keep doing and to do differently? And the purpose of this article was to talk about transition services for students of all ages, so elementary school, middle school, and high school. It was really focusing before the intervention outside of the school system. It also talked about the role that other teachers and staff and families and everybody outside of just a core teacher plays in transition service intervention for students with disabilities. And it gave a list of common transition practices that schools use, like direct intervention. And it talked about Bronfenbrenner's ecological model and how that could be applied to transition with students with disabilities of all ages. And it talked about how there's two different types of transitions. Horizontal is intervention that's occurring at the same time as school, and the vertical intervention is sequential and it's over time. So all students experience vertical transition when they're going to a new school or a new grade. The researchers also want us to be collaborating with other teachers and staff, like I said, in regards to transition and finding out the best method for a student with disability. How does the information help you within a school and our classroom as a teacher to support student learning? This should be related to transition and what we've talked about in class. This can further point to disagree with something in the class. Okay. This information helps me as a future educator because it gives a widespread amount of information. It's not just one transition model idea. It gives a few different ones for future teachers to work with, so that would be really helpful for the realm of special education. I hope to use these ideas as a future educator for my students. I really like the idea of Bronfenbrenner's ecological model and using more than just the staff at the school for transition, because I feel families know the student the best, and that's really essential to how the student transitions. Let's see. We talked about how important it is to work on transition services in schools because it prepares the student for life outside of education once they graduate high school or college or whatever path the student takes. And transition, as we've learned in class, also teaches fundamental lifelong skills. So at the younger ages, like gym class teaches fitness, and home economics teaches cooking and sewing and that kind of stuff that you will need in the future. So I think it's important to implement transition services as early as elementary school because it can teach lifelong lesson even if you don't think about it at the time. And the two questions I chose, the first one, describe what future research should be completed and how could these affect students, plus how the research could help the field of special education. So this article was obviously about transition services, and I think that research should continue on transition services for all ages of students. I think we could do more research of comparing methods of transition and see which one's more effective or if it's more effective altogether. So like direct service transition, inclusion, so like pulling the student or keeping the student in the classroom or taking the student out of the classroom to learn these types of skills, and integrating the content of transition into a general education setting. So even the students without a disability can learn these types of skills because transition can be applied to more than just a student with a disability, but it's really more so this article really more so focuses on those students with disabilities and how to find the best method for them to function and learn their transition the way they should learn it, especially under services. Finding the most effective transition model is important, and we should keep diving into different options and figuring out which route to take. I also think it's really necessary, or it could be an idea, to research more about how involving the families of the student helps with transition services, because having a positive relationship not only at school but also at home might facilitate the student to want to come to school and they'll want to learn, rather than having a bad life or a bad day at home. They might be in a bad mood and they might not even want to be learning the stuff they need to for transition. So I think we should research how each component impacts the student's overall ability to transition rather than just transition as a whole. Discuss the previous research reviewed. Why was it important to discuss the topic in a journal article for us to read, and what do the researchers want us to know? Like I've said, this article really goes into Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, and I know that has been researched in the past. I've read about it before. It really talks about breaking down each student's like tiers, like at school, at home, community, with friends, extended family, that kind of thing. It talks about addressing each student's microsystem and using that to plan an effective transition service. And I think it was really important for this article to discuss that, because that's what it revolved around. The researchers really believed in in the environment impacting the student's ability to transition, and it really liked the idea of working with counselors, teachers, parents, family, whatever kind of thing, rather than just one immediate teacher that sees the student all the time. It was important to address the microsystems, like I said, because the transition services could even occur not only in a school, but eventually you're going to need to apply these concepts in a outside of school place, like a job or work, or a job, community service, volunteering, that kind of thing. And I know that the direct intervention has been researched as well. So hope you guys enjoyed my article review, and again, if you want to read the article, it's on D2L in our activities citation or discussion page.